Walk with me, Lord, walk with me. Walk with me, Lord, walk with me. While I'm on this tedious journey, I want you, my Lord, to walk with me.
Larry Groce, mountainstage.org is where you can hear the show if you don't have it on your public radio station. And I know you want to tune in one way or the other to this one because our guest is Ms. Lizz Wright, who's been with us once before. She has a new record out there. We're talking here at the beginning of October in 2010, and the record is just out. I don't even have a copy with the cover on because it's that new. And what record is this? This is your third? Fourth record. Mm-hmm. You were on once before. It's been a while, so it was after your first or second record. Mm-hmm. This one, I know you're a preacher's daughter from down south, yeah. And this one has actually a lot of gospel music on it. Have you? Obviously, you must have always sung gospel music. Is that right?
Yeah, it's part of my life, and it's really like the root of my style and approach to music, and it's really nice to be going back to it on purpose now.
And what made you decide to record some? It's not all gospel, but some gospel tunes on this.
I needed it. I needed to hear it, you know, and I just felt like it was a time in my life where I needed my family to know that that stuff was still with me, and I knew how important it was, and I needed to sing it.
Well, I know that you collaborated with Toshi Reagon, as you have before, and this time her mother also sang Bernice. Johnson Reagon from Sweet Honey in the Rock, and on some of the gospel tunes. How did you run into Toshi? Is this just people you got acquainted with professionally?
Yeah, I met Toshi through Craig Street when we were working on Dreaming Wide Awake, my second record, and Toshi and I have become really good friends, and we're more like family now. And it was great to have her actually produce almost half of this record, and to work with her in that way. She's a fantastic producer. And I got to stretch out and work, really work hard. And Brian Backus was great also. And when Dr. Reagon heard the gospel medley, she actually requested to sing on it.
Really?
And it blew my mind. I was like,
Can't get much better than that.
No, I don't think so. I think she was really happy that I retained my sound from Georgia, and she's such a historian and a Georgia girl herself. She recognized it and was like, I want to help you do that. And so she comes in the studio, and what I've done is already recorded, but she sings with it, and each take she sounds like a different person, and she swings it, even though it already exists. She makes the whole thing swing different. It was really, really, really fantastic to witness, and I love her song, I Remember, I Believe. In fact, I went back and forth a lot about making that the title of the record, and at the last minute I was still trying to pull the trigger. They said, no, or it's already in Europe, that it's called Fellowship. And I said, well, either or.
I don't know how my mother walked her trouble down. I don't know how my father stood his ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. I do remember, that's why I believe. I don't know why the rivers overflow their banks. I don't know why the snow falls and covers the ground. I don't know why the hurricane sweeps through the land every now and then. Standing in a rainstorm, I believe.
There's some really great material in this record. It starts off with the Bob Marley song, which is just a great, what's the name of that tune?
Oh, it's Fellowship. It's the Michelle and Dego Cello Bob Marley song.
Great, great, great. This is a great way to start the record. And then you've I don't know how you chose the material, I assume you chose it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you came up with the Clapton song and a Jimi Hendrix song also.
Well, I take in information from all over when I'm going to make a record. I kind of know the messages I need to relay or like where my heart is, but I don't always know how to find the material that brings those things out. And actually, the A&R lady at Verve brought Presence of the Lord to me, and I just read the title, and then I read the lyrics. And I said, oh, God, I have to sing this.
That's from Clapton on Blind Faith, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
One of our staff is telling me that's probably one of the best one-album band ever in the history of the world, Blind Faith. But that one, the Hendrix is great. And then you did a great tune with Angelique Kidjo. Talk about that one for a second.
Well, I was ahead of schedule in the studio, and I actually had time left to record that I didn't really need. And I had remembered that Angelique had offered to contribute to this record. And then she calls me out of the blue in between her tours and says, Liz, you know, I'm free this afternoon. Do you have something for me to do? And I was like, ah. So I came up with these loops with a good friend of mine, Nacho Aramani, great percussionist from Spain. And then she came and added these lyrics to it. So we have two little really tight interludes. One that sings about an African goddess, and then the other one that's like, it's just like vocally stuff, you know?
Great. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't understand the lyrics, so I didn't know what it was saying, but it was just, it's a wonderful feel to that cut. And you have, like you have the long, it's an 8-minute cut with the gospel medley, and then you have these nice little 2-minute, I really love albums like that have it mixed up in the time like that. And it features the vocals, as it should, because Liz, if you don't know, and I hope you go, what's your website?
LizzWright.net.
You need to go there, go to mountainstage.org and listen to her sing, because one of the best voices of our time. And we've had, how many people on the show? 2,000 people. One of the best singers we've ever had on the show.
You may not understand me, but I hear you so well. Your voice comes in the cold wind, a tune I know so well. I can see you through any darkness. Your sweet light gonna lead me home. I'm coming back to the orchard, coming back, Lord, I'm coming home.
The new record is called Fellowship. And what do you have coming up? What's going on with Liz right here, in case somebody sees this in the next, the end of 2010 and the beginning of 2011?
Well, I'll be touring Europe this month, October, and then and next year's exciting. I will be out on the West Coast in February, March, and may also do some more on the East Coast. And then in the late spring, early summer, I'm actually going to go back on tour with Angelique Kidjo and Diane Reeves.
Wow.
And do another round of Sing the Truth. Last year we did it as a tribute to Nina Simone, and now we're going to make it our own. And I'm really looking forward to that. I had a blast.
Well, that's the person that you would like to, you want to bring up. Nina, she lives in North Carolina. Nina Simone is a voice that you want to bring up, even though she is an icon. Liz is comparable in many ways with a wonderful singer. And now one more thing before we quit. Yeah. You're interested in cooking now, you told me, for folks who don't know you at all. Now you're thinking about going to culinary school?
Yeah, I attended culinary school at the Natural Gourmet Institute in Manhattan before I moved out to the country, and it was really tough, but I had a great time. It was nice to just get my head out of music and be a student again, and I love food, and you know, all the spare time I have, I spend gardening and cooking, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
What a combination. Lizz Wright, mountainstage.org is where you can hear the show if you don't hear it on the radio. Thanks very much for coming back and seeing us.
My pleasure, Larry.